Hey guys, y'all showed up at the same time. Cacao, Strange J, Quick Sauna. How you guys doing? Just kind of getting started here. I need to see if I have okay, I think I do have, yeah, I do, because I was doing this. Let's work on this before. This guy. Texture, import, layers, body. This guy. Right on. Textures, import, layers, Helm. This guy. Right on. Hey Nicodemus. Hey Stonelist. I'm just gonna call you Stone. How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Lisava. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hey Chat Solo. We're gonna try and do some art. We're gonna trying to get back into art. Took a bit of a break because we had the test, and you know, after a certain point, we weren't adding new art stuff to the build, so it was just I just spent time testing. So that's why we kind of took a break from that. First time catching the stream, but wanted to say I super enjoy the stress test. Awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for us too. Glad everybody was able to join. I need to ask. Hopefully, Pat will join us tonight, and I can ask him about the chainmail stuff. I have a chainmail pattern, but this is very flat, so I don't know, maybe I could let's see if it works at all. Oh man. Well, this is gonna be a bit weird here. And then Pat is gonna come in and chat and like yell at me for having the chainmail the wrong way. He's gonna be like, Actually, the chainmail goes like this. Actually, I think it goes like this. Yeah. Yeah, Pattis reminds us every time we make chainmail. Where's the apply? I need to apply mask. Hey, Hell's Ridge. How you doing? It's good to take a break now and then. I like there are kinks in the chainmail. Oh, you know what? I was gonna try that. I don't remember which filter Pat was talking about.
Hi, guys.
Hopefully he shows up. I can ask him. We'll just leave this. Hey Pat, what was the filter that you use? I have some questions about chainmail, but I guess I'm using this one for the time being. What was the filter that you used on your chainmail to kind of soften it a bit? Paint obs. Where's the filter gallery? Artistic. Surely it's in here, right? Paint obs. Look at that. Brush size. I kind of like, kind of dig that. It looks less chain and more like some sort of linen or something woven, but... Sparkle. Ooh. Hey, Cypher. I was able to watch Patrick's stream last night about the chain armor. It's looking sweet. Sweet. Chain does lay vertical. You just tell Pattis this is fantasy game. Yeah, I don't think Pattis will. Yeah, he'll GM kill me. I can't Nicodemus. He'll GM kill me. He's done it before. He can't be stopped. Sometimes the pattern can was created by a magical blacksmith. Tell him to stop putting too much realism into your fantasy game. It kills the immersion. You can get some neat effects. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I haven't really messed with I haven't messed with some of the filters. This one's pretty. This one actually looks like it kind of works. Kind of chainmails that shit up. That's pretty rad, actually. I'm gonna go with that one. Okay. It's kind of roughing it in for now. I gotta apply this though. I really wish I can apply this, then I can undo probably. Let's see what it looks like. Pattis has entered chat. Rangers take their chainmail seriously. Yet they still die. It doesn't help them, so I mean, why bother? Zing. Soft chainmail is now canon, made from green gelatinous cubes. They need to make sure it's comfortable due to the time they are laying down. Trolls should get barbed wire chain. That's a pretty rad idea, actually. Some sort of barbed wire or something or other could be neat. Could be something with the monk, like barbed wire fists. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll make some barbed wire like brass knuckles or some shit. That'd be cool. I don't know. I mean, if you stab or pierce chainmail, it gives almost no protection. Same with crushing. I want to make spiked. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Mad Max ogres. I'm a dummy. So there was also. Let me do this. Let's do gray. Why can't I apply that? That's okay. Distort. Noise. I thought render clouds. There we go. And rough up that chain. And we'll do one of these. Gonna create a shadow layer underneath. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't fuck everything up. We'll find out, I guess. Sometimes when you combine stuff and send it back in here, it breaks. That kind of worked though, so I think we're good. Hey, look at that. Jot that barbed wire down in a notepad so you won't forget, trust me. Fist weapons. Yeah, I figured they were fist weapons. I didn't know how to pronounce that word that you say. Kate says. Kate. I can't. My brain broke. Cestus. I almost even pronounced it like cicada, because I don't know. I can't. Yeah, my brain don't work so good. My brain's a little lumpy. I forget stuff all the time. I have to keep a journal at work so I don't miss anything. What is the tool you're using? Which tool? A lot of stuff just happened. I'm using Photoshop and 3D Coat though, if that helps at all. Hey Rev. So I looked up how to do templates and trans somethings. Game changer. Yeah, man. Those are like the I don't know what the other one is, but the templates definitely, I use those all over the place. And you can put templates inside of templates. So I have like I know on the P99 wiki there's like it's like a lot, like so much of the website is just like a series of templates and stuff. Like the item pages, the whole, like the item pages are just, it's the whole thing is a template. Like the layout is a template, and then like the actual item description window thing is a template inside of that, and then like the whole stats information, and you know, it's just like, it's crazy. So like when you make a new page, it's already built for you. You just kind of fill in the, it makes it really easy to add new pages and stuff really quickly. And by everything being templates like that, it also keeps it all consistent across the board. And when you do change stuff, it changes everything, you know, on stuff you've already made, so you don't have to go back and redo stuff. It's just like really great. They are fist weapons from Roman gladiators. Oh, okay, now I gotta look it up then. You say Roman gladiators, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess. Oh wait, there. CAE. There's like the mitts. Oh, are these like the spiky ones? Because those stick out as like very much like Roman gladiator things. Yeah, the only thing with the fist weapons and stuff is we got to make sure that we got to do like, because the weapons they're going to scale based on the race that is equipping them. Like automatically it'll apply, you know, it's adopting the scaled values of the dummy bones. So like, just got to make sure that you build it in a way so that to minimize some weirdness, I guess, with the different hand sizes and things. At least on the players. I think with NPCs, there's probably more leeway. Shmonty, how you doing? Drodak, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. Tools for doing shadows. That was just a brush. Like to do the shadows right here underneath. And right here, that was just a brush. But to do these like little splotches and stuff, I made like a solid color. So I just have a solid color, and then I went up to the filters, and it's under render. You make clouds, and then I just made the clouds, and then I changed that layer, the cloud layer, to like overlay, or you know, I just went through the list, and it just kind of like adds some layer to it. So that's all I did. I think that's what Pat did or something. So some element of that I think you did, Pat, and I was just kind of copying you. Hacks. All right. Let me turn on flat shader too, so I can. Got a lot of textures here, a lot of layers. Nah, I'm not doing camera tonight. Kind of this week has been kind of a really shitty week for me, so I'm just kind of, I'm just not feeling it. Sorry. Tomonarch, how you doing? K-Sims, hey, what's up? Zukan, what are you working on today? I'm trying to get back into doing some texture stuff. This is one of the plate armor sets I was trying to fix up, to limited success. What is this? I don't know what this. Okay, that's. I don't know what this layer is. Okay, well, I'm gonna push that down. Send beer. Sorry, I don't drink beer, so well, that won't work. It's all good. I just need it to be the weekend and just chill. Thanks, Grix. I can't take credit for most of this, honestly. This texture was made mostly by somebody else, and I'm just kind of like fixing it up and adding to it and stuff. Where's the helm? Oh shit. That's cool. Okay, so this I'm gonna turn on mirror anyway because I'm paranoid, but this is already it's already mirroring by itself, but I don't know why, but you feel like the helm needs some uneven horns on the sides. There's I don't think I have I don't have the Shadow Knight really ready to go at the moment, but the Shadow Knight, he has some horns, but they're not uneven. I don't know. I don't know if we have any uneven horns in any of the concepts, but yeah, well, we should definitely get some somewhere. I think it could there's room for that somewhere. Hot tub. Hell yeah, man. That's what I need. Maybe I'll do some hot tubbing. Ready check. Go fishing. I have a short memory. Are y'all making multiple textures for each armor type or just one texture for each type? We're making multiple, I think is the correct answer. Like we have like, because like we're not, the armor isn't like race specific like it is in EverQuest, like the textures. So everybody, you'd be able to see this armor on any of our races. It's depending on what armor it's assigned to. But yeah, so as a result of that, we obviously have to make a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of different types of plate armor, different types of leather and stuff, just so we have like a good range of everything. You can only take credit for making it awesome. I don't know about that one. We'll see. Let's wait until it's done, and then I can say it's good or bad. Just to cover my ass in case it turns out like crap. It turns out like crap, and we're like, well, that was the plan all along. I didn't say I was making awesome. Flawless plan. Hey Norden, how you doing? Hey Zook, stopping in to say hey. Got called into security into a security incident at work, so I gotta go. Thanks for the res me and Wormsbane, and for sharing your work with all of us this time. Yeah, man. At some point we may have to like restrain ourselves from throwing out GM reses left and right and Spirit of Wolf and shit. Speed of the Wild. Hey John. Do you also work with C# to animate? I don't. I think instead of a veil over the mouth, maybe that should be a chainmail. Be chainmail also. Instead of a veil over the mouth, maybe that should be chainmail also. Well, I made it leather because like there's like a decent amount of leather kind of in this set, and so I was just trying to tie it all together, just by making that leather on the helm. So I don't know, it just seemed like it balanced out. That's why. It would be cooler if it was like metal or something though, you know? But I don't know. I think maybe when it's like it doesn't look like butts right here, it'll look better. That is a good plan. Do y'all have thoughts on race themed armor like a centaur or cultural armor set? I'm sure that'll happen. I don't think we're there yet. We have like class looks more or less. If you've seen the what do you call it, the class concepts that Goblin did, we're making all of those sets. They're not necessarily, you know, we're not necessarily keeping those strictly to those classes at the moment because, you know, we don't have enough a large enough pool of textures to get away with like limiting stuff like that. So but like we're making that because it's like it's good stuff, so we just need stuff right now, you know. We're just making everything we can right now, and then we'll sort it out later, basically. Helmet maybe needs rivets. Maybe I don't know. I'm just trying to stick to like I'm trying to draw because like the chest piece here and the legs were the original parts of this set. I'm just trying to draw upon that. So if anything, I should make some like some triangular shaped something. I should maybe like make this more, make the front here more poignant that it's a triangle shaped. Looks like Shredder. That's kind of what we sort of drifted in that direction. Like that's why I made the claws too. And it wasn't the only reason, but it helped. Is this Unity? I'm thinking of trying to learn it. We are using Unity for our game, but I'm not using Unity right now in this thing. I'm currently in 3D Code, just painting stuff. DDJ, welcome. Thanks for coming. Now I see the leatherworks. Yeah, I mean, that was just the reason behind it. It doesn't necessarily... I think... So we could probably do, like... with the lerping system, we can definitely tint this. We'll definitely be able to tint this to a metal, I think, if we wanted to. So I think there's probably going to be, you know, some sets that have this helmet, and then it will be metal, maybe. We have that flexibility, which is nice. But I mean, like the way I'm painting it right now, it's going to be leather. Don't like how thick this... I feel like I want to shrink this. Oh dear. I UV'd this so that the front bit of the helmet is like asymmetrical, so I could do like a scratch, and I probably will do this. I could do like a scratch across the thing. Like
Quick question. When was the last time you hit save?
I've never saved in my entire life. I am living dangerously. Heck the rules. That looks pretty cool. Rebel. Die, rebel scum. Pew, pew, pew. Way too effing hot for all that metal in the desert. I'd be upset too. Well, I mean, I bet it's really cool in Wormsbane. Speaking of, bro, dude, have you seen the skeletons with some of these helmets on? It's wicked. I don't have any examples laying around to show you guys, but screenshots. Do I have it? Are there any? I don't think I have. There's any. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, there's no.
Quick question.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't have any screenshots of any skeletons wearing the helmets. I mean, you guys have probably seen them laying around anyway, but like, yeah. Well, anyway, I'll try and. Hey Pat, when you're painting in 3D code, do you do a lot of like, do you like toggle between orthographic and perspective at all, or do you stick in one of them? I kind of toggle between them depending on what I'm doing. Toggle all the time? Okay. Cool. Oops. Has anyone started working on the loot drop art yet? Or is that not a priority? That falls under the user interface art. And we've like I think there's like a big overhaul coming for the user interface. But it's not been like, I don't think it's been top priority over other things, so but I think Goblin has done some stuff. I'm not sure what the long-term plan is, because like there was a discussion at one point where like we were gonna try and make 3D renders for the drag sheet, just like make a bunch of kind of old schooly 3D renders and use those. So I don't know where we're at on that. I don't know what the plan is, but that would be a lot of time. I think that'd be a big time investment. I think regardless of what direction we go with it, like it's going to be a lot of work, because there's going to be a lot of things, you know. So and spend a bunch of time on that right now is not you know, it's not doesn't take precedent over a lot of other things. So hey Raphael, how you doing, man? I want to make that good cleric set next, but I should probably do a robe. I started blocking in Tattercloth. Hey man, if you want to, like, you're better at metals and stuff. Like I fucking suck at this. So like I was thinking, you know, I should probably, if I can keep doing art, if I keep doing armors stuff, it might be better idea for me to stick to like cloth and leathers and stuff, maybe. So so if you wanted to do the cleric stuff, you know, that's works for me, because I want to do a robe as well. Anyway, I think just the robes that we have probably need to be kind of cleaned up to work better with the lerps. But yeah, I mean, like we'll need a shit ton of robes as well anyway, so it's not like you making one is problematic either. But it's like whatever you feel like, man. You get a robe, and you get a robe, and you get a robe. Everybody gets a robe. Everybody look under your chairs. You get a robe. As a ranger calls, need on a robe drop. I think like loot for rangers is irrelevant anyway. They're not going to live long enough to, you know, even like it honestly just slows them down because they need to like loot all their stuff so they can get to the next death touch. So it's like why even? Robes on monks will be the best part. We'll have a sweet robe for your high level monk. Dude. Yeah, we should, it'd be cool to make like caster specific, like robes that are like geared towards like casters, intelligence guys, and then making more combat melee style robes and things. So like they would, I think it would be cool if they did look different. You know, obviously we could still do crossover and stuff when we're assigning textures, but it'd be cool to have like the option to have some options, I guess. I love the look of robed plate wearers or the robed monk. Lulu monk. Lulumons for ogres. Yeah, we gotta like there's a whole thing around like making stuff that makes sense for ogre monks too, since that's a whole thing. I want shredder inspired monk plate. I want this and that. Now make it so. The ogre monk will love slimming robe. Yeah. You should try the black and gold robe. I hear it's slimming. Just for all the is holy please. No yoga pants for ogres. I mean, define yoga pants for monks, because like no matter what they're wearing, it's going to be skin tight because we don't have geometry for pants. This is looking kind of awkward right now. Maybe I'll do this. I geeked out pretty hard that I could roll an ogre monk. I'm surprised we didn't do so yeah, I guess like some of the options are pretty cool. I hope they don't just be memey and stuff, like they're actually useful and used and stuff. I like the skulls on the ogre armor. Yeah. I do kind of like the whole racial specific textures and stuff. I think that kind of added that added something, I guess. Something interesting to each. Like it was almost like a built-in racial benefit, you know? It's like there are some races that maybe they're a good option to pick, but like you don't like how they look, so like is it more important to you to be like a cool looking wood elf bard instead of the half elf bard with the the cuffs? You're not a fan of the cuffs, so you're gonna forego the like this whatever stats or that come with whatever combo. It'd be a hell of a lot of work though for us to do that. So like this doing it the way we're doing it makes more sense logistically and everything. So I'm not suggesting we change it, but there is a certain charm to it. turn monks into puglists, since it's better low fantasy and just give them punches and uppercuts instead of kicks. Gangs of New York style. Barrette bananas, sling monk, yoga pants for trolls. I love watching these streams. Thanks, man. Hey, crocodile Dumby. I don't know if I don't think I said hey to you when you joined, so. I would like this to be pushed up a little bit. This is, I don't know, trying to like make this look kind of I don't like how much of the side bit you can see from the back. That's what I'm trying to mess with. It looks weird from this angle. So just trying to minimize that. Maybe a band front to back in the middle of it would split up some. Like all the way around the whole thing. Like this. I don't really like that. I'm trying not to like really redesign it too much because like it's already been sort of, you know, I'm just trying to make it work in 3D. I'm being personally attacked. Well, with the bard, the wood elf versus half elf thing. I wasn't trying to like be sly about like saying anything. It just came to mind, is all. Wasn't trying to be sassy or nothing. I mean, like I did like the half elf. Like I did like the look of the half elf. So it's just the I couldn't get on board with the cuffs. That's all. Like, and it was just because like it's on the plate mail. You know, that's the part. It's like, what? Why you spending extra money on metal to get like plate cuffs? That's just not financially sound. I think the half elves are just like not good businessmen, you know? Like it doesn't, or they're really good businessmen and they're just kind of flexing, in which case that's kind of rude. You know, there's starving halflings out there. I don't think that's really, I guess, the economic argument. It's all I got. They do have more polys in those boots. Clearly Wood Elf is superior. I mean, it's basically like, do you want a dope ass like plate helm with like a bird on it, or do you want like extra metal like ankle protection? I don't know. The half elf helm is kind of neat though. They're like the Flash. Make him run fast. Hate that, Vec. Hello, I tried P99 because of your game. Oh, cool. You've never tried it before? I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, I just ditched the whole pointed thing here. The ears. I don't know.
Howdy.
I'll just make them smaller, I guess. I feel like there was a bunch of chat stuff I missed.
Howdy.
Here. Let me see. Gangs of New York style, Borat. Maybe a band from the front to the middle. An arrow exit hole from when the last person wearing the helm was killed. A lot of armor gets refurbished in the battlefield. The thought of ogre monks in EQ was always interesting because the base stats of frontal stun immunity. Still hoping for ogre inquisitor. I saw Crocodile Dumby in one of the stress tests. Nerdy Squid. If you're familiar at all with the EQ Lantern or Lantern EQ project, they hey MCP Live. Modest Law has been doing, Modest Law is one of the guys on the team over there, and he's done a bunch of like really fucking amazing texture mods. One of them is an ogre monk like outfit. It's worth trying to dig up. I would do it if I could find it in a reasonable amount of time. But there's also other stuff that's worth looking. Like I really like he did a freaking amazing vampire. Like what's the vampire in Mistmore? What's the named guy? Is his name Mistmore? I don't know. I don't remember. But he did a dark elf version. Mayong, yeah, Mayong Mistmore. He did a dark elf, like, cause like that dude is a dark elf, right? And he just like turns into a vampire or something. I think. I don't know the full lore version, but he did a dark elf version of Mayong, and it's really cool. It's worth looking up. Baron von Suckington. um have you seen an uptick in viewer count since the stress test? Yeah, I think so. I know Sean's stream has gotten a bump. I think Pattis has gotten a bump. I think maybe I'm up a bit as well. I don't really remember kind of what my usual viewer count was, but I feel like we're up a bit as well. There's a general like increase in awareness of our project and like interest, just because like I think we've been streaming and putting videos out and updates and everything, and I think there's a lot of like, oh, it's a indie project, it doesn't, I'll wait until something, like, I think just a lot of people wait until there's something to do, something to see, and I don't blame anybody for that. Like, so I do that too. I think that's like probably a healthy way to do it anyway. Is like a lot of people kind of peter out or whatever for whatever reason. So, but yeah, like since people had something to get their hands on, I think there's just more people around or aware because there is actually something that exists they could, at least for a brief weekend, get their hands on. Fleeting moment in history. Oh man. With a bird on it. It's like a space helmet. Yeah, the flesh. Yeah. I really do like the wood elf armor. Like, it looks cool. Like, I don't really like wood elves. Like, I never played a wood elf. But the plate armor is cool. Oops. I mean, you can't really deny that, at least. I like it, like the half, like the between, like, yeah, like a halfling plate kind of sucks. I don't like the halfling plate. I like their helmet. And maybe we could have done that with this, honestly. We could have made this helmet look like that. I don't know if that would be too on the nose though, but I do really like the halfling plate helmet. I kind of want to change this helmet to that, to be honest with you now. Iridite plate looked neat. Yeah, iridite plate, like the original iridite stuff was interesting because it was like more of the Inquisitor cloth plate mix that we have going, and it was just like, it was interesting by comparison to the other stuff that was out there. But I kind of like the Luckland iridite armor better. 6 straight days rain, people. I haven't seen that since the Bigfoot days. R.I.P. Justin. I hope you're you got a boat or something. I hope your laptop, you got like your computer, it's waterproof. We had a thunderstorm kind of come out of nowhere. We're in the middle. It's like we had a whole week of like sunny California weather, and then it was like surprise thunderstorm. That was weird. I was like, excuse me? I want to speak to the manager, please. We need some orcs in M&M, or as I call them, orcs. A brief moment in time. I had a wood elf ranger once. Did the job. I concur. The wood elf armor set is nice. Dark elf armor is best. Yeah, dark elf armor is rad. There's no denying that. I don't like the chain set that they have. I think it's interesting as a, I guess, contrast, but I don't like it. That makes sense. It's not chain-y enough, but yeah, the plate, like the dark elves had some, like, I guess the dark elves had some of the coolest helmets. Even the female plate like helm was kind of cool, but it was pretty dorky at the same time, but it was cool, you know. Like the little cone shaped thing they got. The erudite female helmet was cool too, with the face mask thing, the veil. It, like, on P99, I don't think it like really worked very well. Like it wasn't loading the right texture or something. But it's a cool idea that I think we should totally do for some of our things. Much better than high elf. Yeah, I mean the high elf like fine plate is kind of cool in like it makes you feel very like a knight in shining armor. That's the trope they were going for with that one, I guess. And it works that, but we got a little bit of an issue here, folks. Let's do a little bit of little cleanup here. Ghostly Cape. I like the embellishments on the halfling plate armor, but I don't like how the breastplate fit. Are you talking about the Velius stuff? I have strong feelings about a lot of the Velius armor. I don't think a lot of it is as good as the OG stuff. I think the troll Velius armor was good. I think they just like a lot of the Velius stuff was just too damn ornate. I think like I get like trying to make it look high level and ornate and shit, but I don't know. I think it came off a little gaudy, maybe. That was too much. I don't know on some of them. Troll very good, ogre very bad. Yeah, the Veli's helm for the ogre was cool, but like their armor, the body set was not so good. Custom dwarf helm. So no, I'm talking about for clarification, I'm talking about the body set for a lot of these. A lot of the custom helms were pretty cool. Like even the dwarf one was pretty cool. The ogre one, the troll one, the halfling one was fucking stupid. Just the entire Velius halfling set is bad. I wouldn't be able to play. I would have liked to play a halfling warrior. I think they were pretty decent actually. But I wasn't gonna do that set. Not that I would ever get to the point where I could actually get that shit anyway, but you know what though, like I was able to edit the texture files, and I put I wonder if I still have a screenshot of this. I put the let me see. I don't think I have it still. I put the original halfling plate, like the old world plate armor, and I replaced the Velius ogre armor. So I had a bunch of, on my screen I had a bunch of ogres running around in giant halfling plate armor. And it was an improvement. They looked way better. But I don't have a screenshot anymore. Let's see. Yeah, I don't I don't know where that image is. It's gone forever. Lost to the internet, I suppose. Here's that ogre. Here's the ogre monk set though that Modest Law did. I found that. So he did a male and female. They got like the little monk diapers and some wrappings and some like beads and stuff. Pretty cool. He's done like his texture work is super clean. I think he uses like some AI upscaling to like sharpen stuff or something. Ogre abs. Ogre helmet was awesome. Yeah. XR chain. Like the scale mail stuff, right? I don't know how I feel about that. I wasn't super into the XR, the Velius XR stuff. I gotta look it up now because I don't remember. You guys are totally derailing me here. Let's go to Fashion Quest. Fashion. Elias. XR monk. You know what, this stuff, if this is the one you're talking about, this one isn't too bad actually. I don't like the scale mail though. And that's that I had like a some armor set that had the scale mail. And I didn't really like it. But yeah, the chain is cool. And it might be kind of controversial, but I sort of like the custom helm on the XR mail. Like some people don't like that, but I think it's cool. It's like a mask. But yeah, like everybody else is like, I think I do like the Dark Elf plate looks really cool. It's like a ebony, a dark, like really shiny ebony metal. It's cool. But this one's kind of interesting too, the scale, I guess, but I don't know, the rest of it, it's not so hot in my opinion. The female Dark Elf has a better set out of that. But yeah, the halfling stuff is just like, what's going on here, guys? What is this? I don't, none of this, like, the cloth is like the best. Honestly, the cloth is the best one they have. I've never seen anybody in any of the cloth stuff. So, but whatever. The troll has a really good spread across the board. Like the plate looks really rad. This chain looks rad. I like the cloth and the ring mail. The ring mail with that little thing on it, it's pretty cool. Even this being all ornate and shit, this actually is pretty good. You know. And the female stuff is kind of interesting too. I like the ring mail and the cloth on the chain on everybody. But yeah, everybody else is like, I don't know. Didn't really pull off the fashion quest as successfully, in my opinion. The cloth on these guys is dope. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm just some nerd on the internet. Who cares? I gotta scroll up in chat now. I mean, the halfling back in the day was bummed with that. You hating on hating on the toaster? I am hating on the toaster. Toaster head. Yeah. Hey, I was wondering, you guys aiming to have similar number of items as classic EQ or more varied? I'm wondering if having too many different items would make stuff less iconic. I think it depends on which way you're talking about it, Salacious, because there's like the itemization side of things, which is like the game design, content creation, and if we keep things I can already tell you that like the progression of gear in game will be slow at a slower pace, so that individual items will have more worth and become more iconic, ideally, hopefully with that plan. But in terms of like the textures, the visuals of things on the art side, we're trying to like throw as much cool shit in there as we can, so we want to have like variety in that regard. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you as a player, as a character going through the game, are just going to be churning through stuff, and they're just like everything has no meaning or value to you. That's definitely not what we want. Ogre abs. Oh my god, those nips. Oh man, I didn't even notice he had nips. I'm probably going to get banned on Twitch now. Undead female trolls. That's all I have to... What? Undead female trolls. XR chain. Looked all strappy. It's the Rygar armor. Scale mail. Is the Pog... Shadow Knight armor. Chain looks great in black when I use the XR mask. Ooh, yeah, I bet it would. I have a halfling cleric. He looked silly with the toaster hat. Why have I never seen that cloth armor before? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like the Velious cloth on a lot of the on a lot of the races, like, looks pretty good. You've never see it in game. It's probably the... I think I might have seen it... Well, I was about to say that those goat dudes in the wastelands or whatever that dropped like that particular leather, but I think that's actually the leather and not the cloth look. So I don't even know where you get the cloth armor textures from. Nerds. Because halflings in cloth is only an illusion. No halfling classes wear cloth. Yeah, like the cloth. Cloth didn't have visuals in EverQuest for some reason. Using any other MMO as model reference aside from EQ, like Dark Age of Camelot, Star Wars Galaxies, Vanguard, are the ones that come to mind. There's more that I'm not familiar with, that some of the other team members like have you know, hold close to their heart, that I'm sure that they're drawing from as well. So like it's like the EverQuest is a heavy influence. It's pretty obvious, but we're not like straight up copying everything, or you know, and like there's other influences as well and stuff. So like, you know, you can call it an EverQuest clone if you want, I guess, but it's not that. I mean, like, it's not EverQuest, I should say. Like, there's a lot of, you know, What game has the mud commands? Is that from any particular game or anything? Because like that's a huge system in our game. I don't know where that's from or what the deal is there. The mud stuff is kind of before. Like, I didn't really play any games that had anything like that, so I don't know where that kind of came from. But that's a thing too. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was like a particular game, in that genre. I guess I don't really know jack about that stuff, to be honest with you. I'm but a young pup in the grand scheme of things, so there's elements that I'm not familiar with. Legendary kitchen sink. Everything I see you guys make is just as cool. It's just so cool that I hope you make some boring stuff. Maybe. Make I wanted to make another set to so we have the well-worn armor that you start off with when you make a new character. It's just kind of like throwaway gear. I sort of wanted to make a quick like raggedy pants and shirt to like use for that, because right now they're wearing like the sort of cloth, the basic cloth set that everybody has in town, so I don't know if it makes sense to make you look more like a homeless person for those clothes or whatever. Cloth armor texture is from the quest armor. Oh, okay. It's in there. If you're wearing full enchanter sky shrine armor and take off your robe, illusion halfling, all those non-robe pieces will look like cloth set. I have no idea where you get the shirt. It's just from the whole old ass genre of game. I used to play text muds in the 90s. Walk north, look around. I feel like I came across a game at some point in my life that was like that, but I didn't really have the patience probably to really dig into it or explore all that stuff. So I didn't get into like I didn't become a mega nerd until I was like 12 or whatever. I enjoyed a mud called Major Mud heavily. It has to dial into a local area code from some guy hosting a PBS in the 90s. That sounds like a good way to get, like, kidnapped. To dial into some weirdo's area code and I don't know. That's the kind of shit that your mom would be like, the internet's dangerous. Don't tell anyone. I guess it wasn't really dangerous back then. It's, you know, people didn't really, you know, I mean, it was, well, I'm sure it was still dangerous, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It had more of a stigma for sure, at least. Like nowadays, you literally call somebody on your phone to drive you somewhere and you just get in the car. Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the shoulders for a bit here. Well, I still need to do this as well, but I'm...
Yeah. Quick question. When was the last time you hit save?
It's been a while. Let's do this. Let's close all. Let's close this.
Hi, guys.
Export all color layers, helmet. Armor.
Quick question. When was the last time you hit save?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Late. Save. Export. Body. Did I tell you guys that I have exploding head syndrome? I hear sounds at night just before bed, gunshots, breaking glass, crashing sounds. It's great. I didn't know that was a thing. That doesn't sound fun. Sorry about that, Justin. Oh my god, yes, some ragged gear, torn, etc. would be amazing, like a beggar in a queue. Yeah, we definitely need something for like beggars and stuff, because we got a bunch of those around town. I also, one of the things I was thinking about, like I wanted to finish up the were-rat stuff, and then I was gonna take whatever they look like. Like we also need the capes back in play here, because I want to basically take the were-rat outfit that they have and make that for the human as well, so that when they're in human form, they have the same outfit. So like it's when they go back and forth between the transformation, they're wearing the same stuff. So I just need to finish the were-rat, and then we need to get the capes working on the humans again, and I can have that stuff going probably. I would love to see multiple sets of shitty gear. Veli's had cloth armor visuals. I was playing text RPGs before EQ. When I found EQ, it was all over. Game over, man. Game over. I remember playing an old text mod called Gemstone 3. Talking Sea. Talking Seagull Lawyer, welcome to the chat, man. Hi, guys. Well, my friends and I fought the Crocs, and we loved their run animation. Yeah, the little floppy run animation is pretty great on those guys. Is Amazon considered strangers? Probably. Okay, so now that I've saved that stuff, actually, this is what I was gonna do. Make new thing. Fill it with black. I'll do that too. And then we go to white. And hard light. Color dodge. Yeah, I think it was color dodge. For the highlights. Hmm. Color dodge my baby. Yeah, man. I love this trick, dude. This is amazing. Thanks for sharing it with me. This is a game changer for me. Still need to get better at doing it though, but it's cool that I can like, because you can just like undo stuff with the switching back to black. I really like that. It's not like a you fuck up and you're screwed kind of thing. let's turn down opacity. Holy shit. Still very strong. Oh, that's the wrong layer. I'm gonna pull the helmet in. Helm. See if I can clean this up. I'm gonna have to throw this in engine really soon and see how it's doing, because I have not done that really. I guess I've done it, but not in a long time, so just make sure it's not busted. Do you have a trick that is like the reverse of this? Or I guess you do like the shadows and stuff. I guess you would just go back to the base layer and just like do the black or something, huh? Multiply layer for shadows. Ooh. Multiply. Do you do so? Is it like you just painting on it, or is it like a fill with guess I could just do this. Just paint on that blank layer. Okay. This is starting to look kind of shiny, sort of. I don't know, I think this is like I don't know, from a distance, if you like zoom way out and you squint your eyes, it looks like an artist did something good. Just make the hotspot like smaller or something maybe. Yeah. Yeah, the multiply definitely, the shadow, like the contrast really makes it makes it more punchy. I like that. It's definitely helps with the highlights. Oops. Yeah, you can see how the contrast builds up nice, multiply later. Almost have gloves and boots. Looking okay with the chainmail. Happy Rangers. So this helmet is not, like the front of it is not symmetrical. Like I UV'd it asymmetrical, so I'm going to actually take advantage of that here with this highlight, because I don't really like how this is. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Oops. Rar Loco. Thanks for the follow, man. Welcome to the channel, where we do things. We do things here. Things occur. Oh shit. Well, see, that's the thing that has occurred that it's problematic, because I went across the border of the mirror. It's one of the things we do. One of the things we do apparently is fuck up. That's what we do here. That's my specialty. Should there be a cut continuation on the leather mask part? A cut continuation? I've kind of been avoiding the leather, so it's pretty bare bones right now. But yeah, I want to do like a kind of make it look like there's a bit of a like it's cone shaped and it's like stitched down the middle so that it's like stitched to be sort of like cone shaped or face shaped. So there will be like lighting to emphasize that, hopefully. That's the goal. Eventually. Okay, I meant from the cut. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, that's a fair point. I also thought about like having it kind of cut into the side of the helm as well, but I mean, you could also look at it where like the leather portion could be a detachable part that maybe it you know, they could have swapped out the leather or something. So yeah, that's a good point. I will have to keep that in mind when I get to that. I'll try that out and see how it looks. I may or may not actually roll with that though. We'll see how it pans out. Because I think it could go both ways, right? Depending on how you really look at it. I wasn't thinking of, like, my initial thought was just like not doing it that way, but that is a good point. So what is happening here? This is outrageous. Your mess ups are better than my best efforts. Well, that's Magnamar, that's called failing upwards, and I guess I'm doing a good job. I'm good at something. I'll put that on my resume. If you don't fire me long enough, maybe I'll do something kind of okay. I don't know, we'll see what happens. kind of got a Magneto. It's kind of looking sort of Magneto-y, which it sort of was already, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna just erase this. That's problematic. What is... Why is it... What layer is this on? What's... Oh yeah, there must be a magical purple version. Oh yeah, for the Magneto. Gotcha. Took me a second. We have a purple. I'll have to try that out. It was sort of red though, wasn't it? It's like a red helmet. Or at least in the live action films it was reddish from my recollection, but I guess in the comics and cartoons is probably purple, wasn't it? Red with purple. Oh, nerd. That makes sense. That, yeah, I would have to look it up. I wasn't like, you know, I like X-Men, but I didn't really. I didn't watch the cartoon a whole lot. I like the. I think I watched more of the young X-Men. I don't know. I don't remember what that one was called, but I think I watched that one more than. Well, I think it had Rogue and Nightcrawler in it. Not the one with the banging intro. That intro is fucking dope, though. Sometimes I pull that up just to listen to it. I didn't do comics. I wasn't a comic dude. I played with Hot Wheels in the mud. That was my thing. Which explains why I'm such a dumb kid. Just eating dirt, playing by myself. I wasn't super into like computers and stuff until I started getting into EverQuest, and I played a bunch of Simcopter and What else did I play? Crimson Skies. Did anybody play Crimson Skies? That game was the bee's knees. I still have it. I wish I had kept my old computer just so I could play Crimson Skies, because the Xbox remake, or whatever you want to call it, it was okay, but I don't know. I like the Windows one. Yeah, that intro was rad, or had that church bell in the background, super good. Hey, thanks for the follow, Velociraptor. Is that right? Velociraptor? Am I saying that right? If I said it wrong, that's also okay, because that's kind of the initiation. That's a bit too hot, probably. It's like pure white almost. Let's make that not so hot. Let's little bit, not so much. There we go. Sweet. Velociraptor. That's a pretty dope name. I like it. I didn't know nothing about no computer games until AQ. Yeah, I don't remember like I think it was a gradual, because I think what it was like I had my own computer. I eventually got my own computer at a certain time, but I think it was at my dad's house. So I only really played it a lot on the weekends. And during the week, I was like a normal kid playing in the dirt and stuff and going outside and those sorts of things. But then like EverQuest hit and I was done for. So we need to start a support group. We need to have like a place in Night Harbor that's like a support group. It's like, EverQuest ruined my life. Changed me forever. Don't recognize myself anymore. We could hold it in the bathhouse. Solitaire Minesweeper. Original Oregon Trail. It would probably shock people to know that most houses didn't have personal computers until the 2000s. Yeah, like I didn't have my own computer for a while, but my dad, he worked for IBM at some point, so computers are kind of like a thing for us, you know. So I got my own little computer. I didn't have a desk though. I would like lay on the floor, lay on my ribs, just like playing like Simcopter until my ribs hurt and I had to like get up and do something else or whatever. So priorities there, I suppose. Okay. Save. That's pretty cool. It's cool-ish. All right. There should be a club or tavern in M&M based on that. If I didn't play so much EQ, I don't think I would have had the same career. Someone wanted to beat me up in one of the bathhouses in a stress test. Wasn't there like an ogre in there that wants to like be mean to you? Commander Keen. Oh man, I remember Commander Keen. Commander Keen was cool. Oh. I got some stuff that's on the wrong layer here, it seems like. Okay. Did you guys play Doom? Doom? I think it was just in the first one. It was either Doom or Doom Eternal. I think it was the first one though. There's like a hidden, like some of those like hidden extras and stuff. There's like a Commander Keen helmet on one of the levels of hell or something. I'm like, oh shit. It's a cool reference, but also, did Commander Keen just end up in hell? That's fucked up. Early 2000s was an interesting time for me. Worked at Radio Shack, and a coworker and I played EQ together every 6 months, built a new computer trying out to outdo each other. That's pretty cool. Speaking of Radio Shack, that's a blast from the past. You guys you remember the good old days when you'd go to Radio Shack around like Christmas time and just like play with the remote control cars and stuff? Man, society sure has fallen since those days. I swear. Like I think Radio Shack was holding the country together. Now everything's gone to hell. Bring back the Radio Shack remote control car test drives. That's what we need. See if I can kind of replicate some of the good stuff that's happening. Oh, I need to. It would probably help if I bumped up the power there. Yeah, remember that. I should reread Doom books. I used to love going to Toys R Us and look at RC cars, video games and stuff. I would vote for you. It would be drones today. You know what? I went to this. I don't know. Like I went to like in Fort Bragg, California. We were going around there, a touristy spot or whatever, and there was like a Radio Shack there. I don't know if like I don't know what the deal was there. There was a sign though, like the Radio Shack sign, and yeah, I don't know if it was just like part of another business and they just never took the sign down, or what the deal was there. But I was like, what? I thought they went out of business. Radio Shack used to have walls and walls of electronic components too. It was a playground. No one is allowed to repair anything anymore. It's cheaper just to buy a new one. Sad. That's what'll do it. I have a multimeter from 1993 with original batteries, and it still works. We still have a running Blockbuster video store in Oregon. Oh, damn. Did you guys hear about the, what do you call it? Netflix is ending their disc rental service. You can't like have a disc mailed to you anymore. So they killed Blockbuster and then they start going to hell. Can you believe that shit? Unbelievable. Bring back Blockbuster, I say. Actually, you know what? We didn't do Blockbuster so much because we had a Hollywood Video that was closer. So we did Hollywood Video.
Make it chunkier.
And we rented games more frequently than we got movies though. It's all about the PlayStation, man. PlayStation games. We occasionally got like some N64 games from there as well, but it's mostly PlayStation 2. Make Blockbuster great again. I think there actually is a Blockbuster rival in the works. Revival in the works. That'd be interesting. There was a mom and pop video down the block for me. Yeah, like the problem with trying to bring back like a rental place like that is, for me personally, I should say, they should classify that as like I said, because we did Hollywood Video. Most of the time we rented games. We rented games more than movies. So like if you brought like Blockbuster back or Hollywood Video back, like probably couldn't get away with doing games anymore. So that'd be a bummer for me. But you know, I'd probably like rent movies and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I think I don't know if you can bring it back though. Like just the way the world is these days, it's, you know. What we need is we need a time machine to just go back and like, because there's a lot of things, man. Like early 2000s, I don't know, like the Albertsons grocery store, they used to make some really baller chocolate chip cookies from the. I'm just kind of going like on a ramble now. But we've moved on now. We've moved on from but we're just going through my entire like childhood now. We got the Blockbuster. We're moving on to Albertsons chocolate chip cookies now. They had the best fucking chocolate chip cookies on the fucking planet, and then they changed the recipe or something, and they used to like have them in a bag. I think they were like loaded with butter or something, because they were like the soft chocolate chip cookies. And oh man, they were so good. And I literally went to Albertsons at like 10 o'clock at night, multiple occasions, just to get another bag of cookies. Like, you know, people go to get like more beer or something. I would just get more cookies. And yeah, I love those things. And then they, like I said, they changed the recipe. They either changed the recipe or it was like the packaging, because they kind of did this thing where they changed a whole bunch of shit. They changed the packaging. Instead of in a bag, they put it in like a plastic container, like some other stuff you normally see at in the bakery section. And it kind of dried the cookies out. I feel like they must have changed the recipe as well to be have less butter in them or something, because they were way more dry, and it ruined them, and I couldn't eat them anymore. I was just disgusted. It's disgusting. I was like, ah. Back from walking doggos. Welcome back, Raphael. We're talking about cookies now. We went through Blockbuster. We briefly touched on Netflix's latest thing. We're talking about Radio Shack. Now we're on to cookies. Okay, this... I don't know, this looks weird to me. The story better have a happy ending. I mean, I don't know. I found some other cookies that I can waste away into. So I mean, there's always another cookie. That's the moral of the story, I guess. There's always another cookie. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah. If you got a crumbly cookie, you didn't put enough butter in it, in my opinion. What? There's always a bigger cookie. For that, you have to pay extra normal. My weakness are the Samoa Girl Scout cookies. I grab a box all the time. I don't remember if we talked about that already, Pat, or not. I feel like we had a conversation about that. Because I remember you talking about the Samoas. But yeah, like, in my opinion, like I only care about the Thin Mints, and in my opinion, the Girl Scout Thin Mints are inferior to the Keebler Grasshopper cookies. They're a superior mint cookie. I don't even need those Girl Scouts anymore. They gotta step up their game if they want my business. It's a rough capitalistic world out there, and they're just not meeting the standards of the modern consumer. Dude went cookie incel. Bruh. You've already got me started, so I can't say don't get me started, because don't get me started on the Chips Ahoy. Holy shit. Chips Ahoy, man. I got myself started. We're going there. Okay, here, buckle up. Oh my god. So before I was into the Albertsons like bakery cookies, like back in, you know, in the 90s, even like way back, maybe I think it was the 90s, maybe it was just early 2000s, really early 2000s. But like Chips Ahoy, the chewy Chips Ahoy used to be the bomb. Thebomb.com. They changed the recipe too at some point, and like the same thing that the bakery did. Like, find me a cookie that, like, a chewy chocolate chip cookie that isn't like a mess, and we'll see. But I have lost all faith in the cookie industry. Keebler is holding it together, one elf at a time. you know, who knows what they're gonna do if they change the recipe. They could just like, man. I used to like inhale those fucking Chips Ahoy chewy cookies though. They were so soft that like I would just like stuff them in my mouth. It's I didn't even put them in like, you know, normal like horizontal cookie direction into my mouth. I would just like full on like you know, the entire cookies is going into my mouth, cookie shaped. Like, I don't know, it was because I would like cut, like break them in half and stuff in my mouth anyway, because they're so soft. You could get away with that, but we don't have any of those in Australia. Yeah, you guys probably have like actual like good healthy food, and American food is just loaded with sugar. So I'm it's too late for me. Go on without me, Raphael. I'm addicted to sugar and there's no going back. But there's no support group that can help me. Don't even try. Toothpaste flavors desserts. Hey man, I like mint, dude. So how do these armor pieces attach to the character models and scale to size? I could show you if this works. It essentially like it attaches to a specific bone, like a specific point on the body, basically, and then it just like it's there. It's just attached to it. Like the helm and the shoulders work that way, so we don't even have to rig up the helms or the shoulders. So it's very easy to add in new helmets and shoulders and have them work across all the races, because there's not really not a lot of prep work. Like the helmets will probably have to readjust, but that's the easy part anyway. So let's see, let's go to I'll go to the human. Yeah, the clipping is the only thing that we need to worry about. Like we don't have to like, because like the step where we put it, it's moving as a solid piece. Even on the helm, like the helmet, it's all moving on the head bone. So there's no complicated rigging that's involved with them. Oh. Prefabs. Item models. Armor. So here's all the little bits and bobs. And if we look for the bone that this gets attached to, head. So this is the bone that all the helmets get attached to on the human, and basically it's literally just like in game, it just like pops it on there like that. It just like assigns the whole thing to that bone and you're good to go. So for like the Inquisitor helm, you know, it's just, that's it. It just like Jafar. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So, and for the shoulders, it's the same thing. There's like a right and left. Actually, let me find this. Left, right. Okay, so there's a right and left shoulder, and it just pops it on there. That's the wrong one. I fucked up. So go like that. There you go. So it just plops it on that bone, and then for the shoulders is a pretty clever thing. We only have a left shoulder, and then we put the left shoulder on both shoulders, and then we just reverse it. So we only have to make one shoulder. If the set is going to be symmetrical. If it's like asymmetrical, like the Inquisitor stuff, you have to do both, obviously. But you just make the one pauldron, and what we can do with that is we can have like a one shoulder set as well, and it's like easier to make because you just need to make one, and then it's mirrored. But we can also have like asymmetrical stuff, because like all the shoulders will be able to be mirrored across stuff in theory. So we could like mix and match if we really wanted to as well. But yeah, it's all like designed to work properly when you just plop it on there. So it's pretty set and forget with those things. But like the cloaks, you see this, he's got a cloak on, and the cloak goes even over the shoulders like this. That's more complicated. Same with the robe. That's why we built all of that stuff into the base mesh of the human. That's why he's got it on right here, because it's just easier if it's already on him, and then we just do texture swaps versus the actual geo swaps on the shoulders and the helm and stuff like this. So that's how that works, if any of that makes sense. What will happen to elf ears in helmets? Yeah, they'll probably poof. Because that's what happens with hair and stuff. We're probably gonna roll it. I think it already, like a lot of the helms and stuff already turn off the ears. Yeah, like right here. Hide features on attachment base. So when you put on this Inquisitor helmet, it's going to hide all your hair, all your beards, and your ears. So that's just across the board. If it's a helmet that it's going to cover your ears, we're probably going to turn your ears off. So hey Duck, I need a cookie inhaler. If only, man. Need to be honest, my mother still makes old school Italian almond meal cookies. It's the only way to get the good cookies anymore, is to make them yourself, man. Aussies have tams or something like that. Makes like banana chocolate chip. Do you love teeny teddies? I don't know what those are. Is that like a candy? Just like a or tam-tams and teeny teddies? So those are just like candies of some sort. But will there be any helmets where you can keep a beard? Yeah. Yeah, oh my god. Hey, thanks Thadvec. I get cheers so infrequently. I don't even have a thing for it. That's the default thing. I hope that wasn't like an accidental cheer. I don't know how to refund that stuff. But yeah, to answer your question though, the fighter helmet with the horns, that one keeps your beard, and the Jafar helmet for the guards, that one's gonna keep the beards as well. I think the other ones hide them. I have the just a regular hood as well, that I need to set back up because we used to have that. I sort of turned that into the Inquisitor helmet, but I need to go and set that, just the regular hood, back up. And that one's probably not going to hide the beards either. It's just like if as long as there's no clipping, we can leave it up. But like, if there's any sort of clipping, we don't really have a way to, like, it's, you know, there's only two options basically. It's like turn the beard off or allow the clipping. And I'm pretty anti-clipping, so. Just found a USA-based site that specifically sells authentic Tam-Tams. Tempted. Interesting. Tam-Tams are cookies? Oh, okay. Teeny teddies are little biscuits in the shape of a teddy bear. Oh. Yeah. I'm a fan of, like, speaking of like candy, I guess. We're rolling into candy now. Just buckle up. Just rolling, we're keeping this train going here. UK candy is really good. I like since I was asking if those things were candies, it got me thinking about the UK stuff, and like they use like real milk or something still in their chocolate, and the chocolate's really good. If you're able to eat like a flake or a crunchy, those are my top two UK candies. Jammy Dodgers, a flaky crunchy. I've been enjoying Toblerone. Oh my god, Toblerone. I haven't had one of those in a bit. Those are amazing as well. I saw that there's like an outrageously large Toblerone you can buy. It's like $30. And it's just like the size of a fucking cat or something. Holy shit. This one, it's like, it's more than I thought. It's $130. Yeah, there isn't, it's not a very good, it's not like, it's like I need an image, like a scale. Yeah, it's like this big. I thought about getting one of these, honestly. But yeah, no. It's I do like Toblerone. I'd rather just get like a shitload of regular sized ones. Easier to eat, easier to open. I already kind of hurt my hands, hurt my fingers, like breaking those things apart anyway. They sell $130 Toblerones at almost any hotel. They're in the minibar. Well, I guess if I'm like really interested in spending that kind of money, but like I don't want to get a really big thing, I could just do that. That's a good alternative. Thanks for the heads up. I like the regular size ones. The fun size ones, you know, they're a little bit small. For like fun size is, you know, not bad for most candies, but you know, Toblerone, you know, something about like the ratio, like the bite size bit of it, like the ratio of like, or is it like some almond, that's the whatever the little bits in there. I don't know, it's, if you get the fun size one, like the stuff's a little bit smaller, I think, and I don't know, it's not how they were meant to be eaten. You're making the guy, the inventor of the Toblerone, roll in his grave when you eat fun-size Toblerone. If you want treacherous candy, I should send you some Thrills gum. They'll hate me forever. Yeah. You'll hate me forever. Oh man. Well, made a little bit of progress. Now, I'd say that the Helm, I spent a lot of time with the Helm, but I think it was worthwhile. It turns out pretty good. I feel like it needs like some texture to it or something, or it's like, yeah, it's needs some more something or other still. And obviously need to finish this, but progress is progress, I guess. Let me go to export. Yeah, I want I haven't spent like as much time on texturing as I probably should, so I feel like I haven't made a ton of progress, but I'd like to try and focus on that stuff a little bit. for a little bit, I guess. So there's some other stuff I need to get done as well. Both with Eminem and outside of Eminem, I think. Just the helmet, real dynamic, ray traced, shiny metal helm. It won't stand out at all. Yeah, I think people will be cool with it. Like, yeah, it's like some of the stuff we do have fancy shit, right? Like the water and the sun effects and the skybox and everything. All that shit's hella fancy, and it's not out of place at all. I wonder if we could get away with having a little bit of shine to, since we're not yeah, I don't know how lerping would work if we added like other maps to stuff. I was gonna say, like, what, I don't know if we could get away with having like a little bit of a spec map or something to weapons, but just the blades of things, you know, could be neat. I couldn't do warheads. I'm not really into sour candy. I did a shitload of Tootsie Rolls though. And what are those, the taffies? Laffy Taffies? You know, there's like these little gummies. I don't remember where you got them. It just like came in like, you know, packs of things, but it was like a little hamburger. It was like a teeny little hamburger, but you know, it was all made out of gummies. It was like a little gummy hamburger, but each like layer of the hamburger was separated. So you could make a little gummy hamburger like with all the layers and stuff that you wanted, and you could eat it like a hamburger. Yeah, those are kind of fun. All right, guys. I'm gonna export this guy again. And
quick question. When was the last time you hit save?
oh, I saved. Oh yeah, my son loves those burger gummies. Yeah, I don't think they taste any, they're not very exceptional in terms of taste or anything like that. It's just like a fun little, I think the selling point is just it being a novel. It's like a novelty. I think it's kind of cool. It's like, yeah. Oh man. I think I'm ready for bed, guys. I'm a gummy candy respecter. What is that? Yeah, a little bit of metal noise on that would look nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll yeah, I think the helm looks, it's in a decent spot. And it just needs like some finishing textures probably. I don't know. Maybe you could, like, if you have, is there any, obviously I still need to do the leather part too, but like just like the metal portion of it anyway. It's like a decent spot. Worms, bears, you name it. I got a bunch of gummy bears when I was in Germany. And now you can have adult gummies depending on where you live. Yeah. Gushers were cool too. I'm kind of at that age where I'm like, not into those super sweet candies anymore, like Gushers and the gummies, like the gummy worms with all that, like, I don't know if it's sugar or salt or whatever they're covered in, that sort of stuff. I'm not into anymore. I just kind of do chocolate still a bunch, but yeah, it's not my jam anymore. Ooh. Okay. Quitting all this. I should discard all changes because definitely don't want to do any of that. But all right, guys. I'm gonna roll on out to bed and stuff. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to my various rants about candy and cookies and Blockbuster and Radio Shack. It's fun. We'll do it again sometime soon. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good stream. We got some stuff done. I'm fairly pleased with that helmet, so we just need to do some touch-ups and all that. So but yeah, we'll get to it. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again for joining